Hey guys, tomorrow is the main day. Chelsea will be taking on PSG. And in this video, I want to talk about this game holistically. And then we'll go into my prediction. First of all, I want to remind everybody that this is a final. I'm seeing too many, talks about Chelsea being an easy prey for PSG to demolish. I can tell you that in a final, form, statistics, what you have done before means little or nothing. It's about how you can be able to handle the pressure, how you can be able to play well on the day, how you can be able to take your chances. This is what matters in the final. The last time Chelsea met PSG was in 2015 in the knockout stage of the Champions League. I think the game ended in 4-2. And that was the last time. This PSG, current PSG, are playing very, very well. But if you look at the aspect of things that Chelsea have done, let me remind you, Chelsea have won the last 5 international competitions, except, excluding the Super Cup. So whenever Chelsea go into final, like Conference League, like all these things, Chelsea normally come out victorious. And people are not understanding that Chelsea are never the favorite in most of those competitions. Chelsea is one club that, if you call a club that wins as an underdog, Chelsea is one. If you be honest and ask PSG, they would have preferred any other team except Chelsea, because there is this DNA in Chelsea that Chelsea goes to final. Chelsea are not seen as the favorite. When Chelsea defeated Bayern Munich on the way to the final, Chelsea met almighty Barcelona. Barcelona that was in a red-hot form. In fact, there was no chance, based on paper, that Chelsea can be able to defeat Barcelona. Chelsea was able to do it, even did it at Camp Nou, to go to the final of 2012. Then he got to the final. Chelsea are playing Bayern Munich at Allianz Arena. Do you know what it means? Chelsea are playing the host. Chelsea are playing the final of the Champions League against a team that is playing in their home turf. What more can you ask of? How high is that standard? Chelsea were able, when the game was going on, Chelsea is this team that never give up. You see, Chelsea is one team that if you like to take one underdog to the final, you will say, give me Chelsea. Even though Bayern scored first, Chelsea refused to give up. Chelsea kept on fighting. Chelsea kept on pushing. Bayern were playing the whole tiki-taka, passing the ball around. There was Ribery. There was Arjen Robben. There was, Mandzukic. Do you know the level of players? There was, top player, Philip Lahm. Top players that you can never, ever give Chelsea a chance. And Chelsea was able to drag that game to extra time and win that game in penalties. And a lot of people came out after that time and started saying, Chelsea are lucky. Chelsea are lucky. This is not luck. It's the DNA of the club to suffer. The players to suffer to get something out of it. Remember the Conference League final happened again. Chelsea went 1-0 down, came back into it. Champions League final, 2012, it happened again. Then when he got to the 2021 Champions League final, everybody was saying the same thing we are saying today. The same thing we are hearing everywhere. Chelsea will be brushed aside easily. Chelsea are just an easy prey. The game will be ended in 5 minutes. Manchester City, Ikaigundo and Kevin De Bruyne, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Everybody was expecting Chelsea to melt. Remember, the league form of Chelsea in that season was not perfect. Chelsea had to beat difficult opponents to get to the final, eliminating the likes of Real Madrid. Getting to the final, even Atletico de Madrid and Real Madrid, getting to the final. Everybody was saying Manchester City is, Manchester City was at their prime. Remember, this is the era of Manchester City dominance. Chelsea was able to play a masterclass performance and was able to score 1 goal and make sure that Chelsea won that game. You see, since that time, instead of people to give Chelsea the credit, everyone started talking about, Guardiola messed up. I've never seen where opponents hardly give Chelsea credit, but Chelsea deserve to be respected. If not for anything, the way they are always dogged in the final. Chelsea, when we go to final, we are dogged. We do everything to win the game. And this is why I think when people write Chelsea off, in fact, it is even more difficult when Chelsea are the favorite. Yes, because when Chelsea are the favorites, it is tough. Expectation is high. It's better that Chelsea are the underdog. People are laying emphasis based on the game. Real Madrid lost to PSG 4-0. Chelsea will be far. Even Liverpool will say that. Chelsea are not the same with Real Madrid. You can never see Chelsea perform that way. In fact, Real Madrid made it so easy for PSG to beat them, because they were just I saw their pressing, the way they left hole in the midfield, keeping high line. There's no organization. There's confusion everywhere. Chelsea are a different side to Real Madrid. Trust me. So don't use because of that scoreline to think this is the way it will be. Look at the game Bayern Munich played with PSG. It was a close, contested affair. Look at the game even against Inter Miami. Look at the game they lost to Botafogo. It was closer than this one. They brushed Real Madrid aside. Real Madrid is a poor side. This current Real Madrid are not ready to compete at the highest level. That is reality. If you go further into it, you see, Chelsea is one of the teams that you can also say that in the first half, in this competition, Chelsea have not considered any goal in the first half. And because of Chelsea's slow approach, Chelsea have a way of bringing down the fastest attack and crumble you and slow the game down and kill the game. Do you know the game Chelsea played with Fluminense? For the first 26 minutes, no shot on target by any side, not Chelsea, because Chelsea will slow the game down. See that Enzo Maresca will say, calm it down. And once you calm it down, you know, those players that want to run, Hakimi, Dembele, and you calm it down, it becomes difficult for them. And this is why Chelsea, you know, have not considered in the first half, in this Club World Cup. First half, no concession. If you watch, even against Fluminense, 26 minutes, no shot on target. The important players, if you ask me, going into this competition for Chelsea will be number one, Marco Cucurella. Marco Cucurella have won 100% of all the tackles he went into in this Club World Cup. You know, Caicedo is another important player, tank in the middle. You need to give it to them. You see these two players. That is why Enzo Maresca hooked off Caicedo in the semi-final. Even though the game is not finished, he wanted to save him. He knows that he's an important player, breaking up play, high tackles, high volume tackles, you know, making runs in the midfield, pushing and, you know, trying to drive the ball forward, passing those, you know, midfielders of our PSG. And these two players are going to be very, very important. Cucurella is also an important player that you need to, you know, look at. And if you look into this competition, do you know that in the last 10 goals Chelsea scored in this competition, 9 different players have scored? Neto, Pedro, you know, Enzo Fernandez, different players, Cole Palmer. Chelsea is not a team that rely on one player to do the magic. So you expect in this competition that Chelsea will be able to, you know, go into this game and try to fight. And Chelsea is that one team that you wouldn't want Chelsea to score you first, or you wouldn't want to mess around with Chelsea. So it's going to be an interesting one. If I'm looking at different statistics, look at Cole Palmer, for instance, another important player. Cole Palmer is the first player to create 3 chances and completed 27 passes. He completed all his passes. He is the first player to do it in this competition. 3 chances and completed all his passes against Fluminense. So if you are looking at a player that you know that once you give him the opportunity, you see, we are talking about Cole Palmer is another deadly player. João Pedro was able to score 2 goals. He's a player that we also have to talk about. You know, he's no longer the likes of Jackson. You know, if Chelsea are playing with Jackson, there is this confidence it will give PSG defense. They know that Jackson is a player that will have 100 shots before one will score. But because of the input of the lap and João Pedro, now PSG will be more conscious. They will know that Chelsea are more prepared than before, because if you go to final, I see when Chelsea play the likes of Newcastle, they bully Jackson and then push him off the ball. Right now, they know that Chelsea is more leader in attack, and João Pedro is one player you wouldn't like to, you know, mess with. So if you put all this thing into perspective, you know, Cole Palmer, João Pedro, you know, Caicedo, Cucurella, Sanchez also need to step up to his game, because if you ask me, Sanchez, all those loose balls of passing, if he does those kind of things, then Dembele will pick up the ball and fire the net immediately. He needs to be aware. He needs to be very, very clear on what he wants to do. And for Chelsea fans, I want to say this. I think this is a win for Chelsea, whether winning this competition or not. We want to see Chelsea competing at the highest level. This is where Chelsea belongs. Like Enzo Fernandez said, that Chelsea belongs to the top. So that is where Chelsea should not have left before. So we want to see Chelsea competing at the top. We want to see how Chelsea can measure against top players. And this is also what excites the players. That is why Enzo Maresca said the players are ready. He knows they want to show the world that Chelsea can compete against these likes. It's not as if Chelsea are just lucky to get to the final. And when I see people always saying Chelsea are lucky, it baffles me. Fluminense defeated Inter Milan that lost to the Champions League final. Defeated Al Hilal that knocked Manchester City out. Why are we not? Are Fluminense lucky to defeat Al Hilal? You don't understand. Are they lucky to defeat Al Hilal? Are they lucky to defeat Inter Milan? Are Al Hilal lucky to defeat Manchester City and knock them out of the competition? So if you put all these things into perspective, when people are bringing this leg, I don't understand. Chelsea deserves to be in the final. Look at even by goals scored. PSG have scored 16 goals in this competition. Chelsea have scored 14. Just 2 goals short. PSG have lost 1 game. Chelsea have lost 1 game. You understand? So the stats are very similar. And the battle in the middle of Vitinha and Enzo Fernandez is going to be an interesting one we need to watch. Because if you look at the statistics of Enzo Fernandez in this Club World Cup, you have to know that Enzo Fernandez is also a top player. That because he's playing for Chelsea, people don't want to give him the credit. He is that good. He is very good. And then if you go to the side of PSG, one thing that Chelsea must look after is Dembele. You see Dembele is an important player that Chelsea must be able to track. Dembele, any loose ball in and around the 18-yard box, Dembele will pick it up and fire a mighty shot inside the post. Chelsea must be ready, very, very ready to stop Dembele, to pass the ball with clarity, to make sure that Dembele do not get any loose ball, especially on quick turnovers. Block the side that Dembele will be able to use to go forward. That is why I'm calling, Sanchez again. Be very, very careful in your passing. No lackluster performance. If you watch the game against Real Madrid made this game so easy for PSG by gifting them 2-0 ahead. So giving them 2-0 ahead means that you've already shot yourself on the leg. Assuming Real Madrid try to keep it tight, anything can happen. Chelsea must not give PSG that kind of free chance in this final. For instance, Dembele have been involved in 36 goals. 27 goals and 9 assists this season alone. He's the leader going into the Ballon d'Or. He's playing very well, and you can see that his involvement. He started his first game at this Club World Cup against Real Madrid, and look at the way he was able to score. And Luis Enrique said that this is the first time their talisman is ready or is fit to play, and he played very well. So if we are being honest, Chelsea must be careful about it. And then another player that we are not talking about is Bakola. Bakola have had 18 assists. 18 assists in the last season, 4 more than any player in the world. You understand? So Bakola is a player that people are not even looking at. Hopefully, if he starts, Chelsea can be able to do something to stop him. You see Bakola and Due. These guys are very, very good. They take on players, they go forward, they do a lot of things, they can run with the ball quickly. These are players that Chelsea will be able to look after. Bakola, Due. Very important player. I am very sure that Hakimi will find it more difficult to play against Cucurella because Cucurella is also having speed to stop him, and Cucurella is also aggressive. So it's going to be an interesting one. The other side, it will be Cavastalia versus Rhys James or Malagusto. So we are going to see the competitions of what is going to happen. In the middle, it's going to be Vitinha versus Enzo Fernandez. Like I said, a lot of people have written Enzo Fernandez off. Vitinha is better because what Vitinha achieved this season with his team, you'd have to give him respect. But on a one-off game, you can't tell me that any team can close any gap on one-off game, even if PSG are playing with Enyimba. On one-off game, those people have the capacity to beat you. So, you see, if you watch, when Chelsea defeated Manchester City in that final of 2021, since that time, Manchester City was beating Chelsea for, I think, 2 seasons straight. But that one-off game, that time you needed them. That time you needed magic. It didn't happen. But these are the perspectives that I'm thinking that will, happen in this game. Let nobody write Chelsea off, and this is what I think. Let me know what you think. My next video will come about the prediction because I'm trying to bring everything down, how they will play, the formation I'm looking forward to, and everything. I will put my mind up to it. Let me know what you think about this. Who do you think will win this game? I'll be reading your comments. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, we are beyond the match. Subscribe to this channel. Thank you.